Pastor KWalker, Mr. Williams, and we've been joined by Polo Rayford, and we're talking about the impact of Christian and secular music on African American, on youth and young people. And we've been given some information by another one of our participants, Mr. Joel Ankrum, and Polo has appeared to take his place. And of course, Mr. Polo, let's pick up where we left off. And of course, you were not with us during the second segment, yes, but we're essentially talking about the impact that Christian rap music and secular rap music is having on young people and young adults. And let's see if we can pick up with you and have you to give us some statements in reference to that topic.
Well, we talk about music in the whole and being an influence. If I can remember, because, you know, being born in the 70s, late 70s, I was an 80s baby. So when Run DMC came out, they said My Adidas. They made us want to wear Adidas. LL Cool J came out. He talked about he need love. They made us want to really need love. And Fat Boys made us want to eat. Big Daddy Kane made us want to be smooth. Then you had NWA that came out. At this time, we're hustling, we're doing certain things, and we started to see that the police are watching us heavily, and they own us, and a lot of harassment. So that made us look at them different and just look at the government different, because they didn't want to change anything in our neighborhoods. So you see this going down the line. Every time there was a change in the music, there was a change in us. There was a change in our personalities, the change that we acted, because when Sugar Hill Gang came out, it was more about party. And it went from partying all the way to negativity, you know, something negative in our mindset. So hip-hop wasn't formed to be negative, but the fact of the matter is, when it changed, we changed right with it, because that was our music, that's what we related to, and that's what we were doing. So now with Christ Hop, as I call it, we're doing something different, because now we're taking it back from that negativity form of music and bringing it back to a positive art form. Does that make sense? And that's what we want to do, give them something to think about. Not saying, we don't want them, we want them to challenge themselves. You know, how you think, okay, go ahead and think that way, but just give our thought process a try. And if this works for you, then you change, you know? But if it don't work for you, then hey, we can understand it. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But our whole mindset is we want to help you change your mind. And my brother Ballhead always says, you know, you change your mind, you change your grind, and that's where we're at now. We're trying to do something totally different.
And so, Mr. Williams, talking about changing your mind and changing your grind, which is to say that you change your attitude if you change your mind. Expound upon that.
Well, actually, when I met Pastor Walker, it was New Beginnings was an organization that he had founded. And one of the things they said is your thoughts bring forth actions, your actions bring forth habits, your habits bring forth character, your character shapes your destiny. So what the music does is it gives you an influence, which through thought and through the imagery. And then those thoughts and those images will bring forth an action in you. You know, you'll see them with guns and they're shooting, you think you're supposed to grab a gun and shoot. You see them with girls, and a lot of olive girls and all these girls all over scantily clad, you think you're supposed to appeal to a woman like that, or a woman should appeal to you, or that's what you treat them like. And that's, as what was said and what Joel has said, you notice that the only type of music that's portrayed to these people is the ones that's negative. You know, it's hard for us with a positive influence of music, or even the artists that are positive, like Common Sense and other artists that are positive in hip hop. They don't get the notoriety or the airplay like these other artists. But you know, and I believe that the government, that it is designed, and that the government is behind it, and so that's a whole nother topic. We'll need an hour show for that. But I do understand that, and we understand that in our people, if we want to change our community, we have to change their mind, and them changing their mind, they'll change their outcome.
And so, Pastor Walker, what we're saying here is the most important influence on young people, youth and young adults is music. Yeah. And so there's a choice that we have to make, whether we have the negative music or the positive music. And for the most part, we've been influenced by what might be considered the negative part of rap music. And now we're talking about Christian secular music, trying to get a Christian idea, a Christian-centered ideas into this music, and so that they might be able to buy into this music as they were able to. Well, how is that working out?
What we're trying to do is bring a morality into the music because there's so much negativity into the music. And music, I don't know, a lot of people want to argue about it and be in denial about it, but it is the common denominator. It's used as an ideological weapon that's used to control and enslave the minds of people, and it's happening. And for sure, our government is behind it. And if you pick up one thing about these guys that's on this program today, is the fact is that they're not just performers. They're not just in this thing to perform, to be seen, or and to sell. It's ministry, as he said, it's ministry. And because I say that because they understand the underlying intent and the purpose of the whole negative rap music thing, and then they understand the antidote to it all, which is Christian rap, which brings people to a mindset, more of a moral mindset that we need to have in our communities. Because when you look at what's happening all across America in our communities, the negativity that's going on, the mindset that's going on, walk up, take the headset off of one of these children and hear what they're listening to. That's why the Bible tells us to be careful what we hear and how we hear, because they're hearing stuff that's forming a thought process within them, and then they're acting out in accordance to that thought process that's being formed into them. It's creating that imagery that he was talking about. So these guys, they're counteracting that because they're hearing from God and they're responding to God. And my appeal is to ministers out there, the pastors out there, to open your doors, open your hearts, open your minds, and see what God is doing in terms of reaching our youth, because the devil is really effective in what he's doing, but God is taking that music, like Mr. Polo said, and he's reshaping it and he's bringing it back because it wasn't intended to be the way that it is. Right. But when they, like Mr. Joel Angle said, when the government got involved, started throwing money into it because it's seen a way to control and influence. And now when you take the negative rap music and then you take the guns and then you take the drugs and you just pour them off into a community, and then you effectively control and destroy that community.
That's it.
We are what we hear. Is that right? And we say what we hear. And the difference between what the rap that you're promoting has the sense of morality rather than a rap that debases the human personality. Is that? And so, and you feel, and everybody who has been here today feel that that is one of the real problems dealing with music within the communities, not only the African communities, but all communities where young people are influenced by this so-called rap music, negative rap music.
It's spiritual. We understand.
So you're trying to bring about a spiritual understanding of to use the words of the Spirit rather than the words of the devil in this music. And you think that this will have a tremendous, has it been demonstrated that it's...
Oh, yes, we know so. I mean, here's the thing about it. The thing about it is, and I know we are running out of time, but here's what we know. And the music is the master key to a mind. You can take an atheist that don't like a certain sect of people, and if there's a jingle behind what he's saying, his mind has to open up to what I'm saying. You understand? So even in hip hop, it's the same way, or any other genre of music. Like take a commercial for instance. Folgers. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. I don't like coffee, but when I decided I want to drink coffee, what do you think I'm gonna drink? Because I know that jingle. You see what I'm saying? But because my mind has been opened up to the jingle because of the music.
Okay, very, very good. And so during this last minute, let me thank the three of you as well as our other guests and those who came prior to this particular show for bringing us that excellent information in reference to it. And I think that it does introduce, and I think it might be something that many people understand, but they've never seen a rationale behind it, you see. And I think that what you've done in terms of dealing with Christian music, putting it within that framework, it means that it draws people in, and then you can give them the word. Amen. And by drawing them in, they get the word, and then you've got a changed personality. Is that the theory behind all of this Christian music and et cetera? And certainly, because I believe, as we end this show for today, I believe that we are what we hear. And I think that's essentially what we're seeing here. Yes, Let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week to another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.